Hey, this is Anytime Yoga, and indeed this video can be played at any time. I'd suggest that this is quite a good one for in the evenings because this session is all about your spinal cord and bending it backwards, and it's usually toward the end of the day that your spine is at its most flexible. It's had the whole of the day to get warmed up and you've moved around a fair bit, possibly. So we'll start with some warm-ups and then we're going to get into some full backward bends. So grab your mat and get on it. Today's session is all about the back bend, and we're going to do some gentle warming up to progress through to some full and complete back bends. It's all about taking your time and having patience and perseverance in your practice. Be kind to yourself, leave the ego outside of the room and draw inward to have this special time with the self, a time of self-maintenance. Let's start in a comfortable cross-legged seated position. You might like to have a wall behind you so that it actually helps you stay upright through the trunk of your body. Get the total area of your back connected with the wall. Take a breath in, and when you breathe out, gently open out across the chest by drawing the shoulders back to make a connection with the wall. You can set the back of your skull to touch lightly against the wall. You don't have to use a wall if you don't want to. You could sit in the middle of your room as long as you're breathing in and rising up through your torso. You might like to close the eyes, giving you the commencement of coming to observe your breath. The rise and fall of your chest, the expansion of your chest as your lungs fill up with air. And then the contraction of your chest as your lungs empty, pushing out carbon dioxide and other waste matters of the body. Have a total scan and check if there's any pockets of tension that you're holding on to and that you are able to surrender to the outward bound breath. Ensure that you have a soft and relaxed face, jawline, neck and throat. Allow those shoulders to drop down away from your ears, to have complete surrender. And if you have years of build-up of stress and tension in your shoulders, then bit by bit start to unravel that. Rewind, release. Enabling space to occur internally when you breathe in. So think about picking up right down from the base, the pubis, drawing it up towards the belly button, lifting the belly button up towards the chest, the breastbone, the heart center. And what about the skin around the torso, especially around the midriff, the waistline? Activate and engage it. Send a message from the mind to these parts and tell them to lift upward. And don't forget the back of your body too. We all face the world face on, and we tend to forget about the back of us. But it's highly intelligent, all what's going on behind you. So send a message from the mind to that flesh around the lower part of the back, around the kidneys, where fatty deposits tend to build up, and awaken all the cells there. Get them included in your positioning, in your movements that are going to follow. Make your foundation a strong, communicative and balanced one. So now we'll just gently bring ourselves away from the wall if we do have a wall behind us. You might like to uncross and then recross the legs. You might like to think about the hips, the hip joints, and allow them to soften. Let your inner thighs relax and allow the knees to drop down toward the mat. Just rest the arms where they feel most comfortable for you. Let's take a breath in. Draw the shoulders up towards the ears, then round them back and drop them down, and bring your hands to rest just outside of each hip joint. Now you can draw the heels of the hands quite close in towards your buttocks, because then when you straighten the arms, they're going to actually act as a prop, possibly giving you leverage or leverage, however you may pronounce it, to rise up through the trunk, to lift up through the spine. Starting at the base of the spine, as you breathe in, get some elevation happening there. Get some lift from the coccygeal region through the sacrum, then the lumbar, dorsal part of your spine, up through the thoracic spine, which is now into middle back, upper back, and then the cervical spine, which is heading up towards the neck and head, and at the very top, your atlas and your axis. It's actually the axis that comes first, and then the atlas is the very top bone in the spine. Rise up and see if you can start to draw those shoulder blades towards each other, so that you're really creating this opening of the chest. Shoulders going back, shoulder blades move towards each other. Nice and slowly and gently, you then start to lift the chin, dropping the head and neck back, taking the eyes to look up towards the ceiling, or if you're outside, up towards the sky. And in the fullness of this position, this is a baby backward flexion. Really allow those shoulders to start dropping away from the ears. Be aware if you're doing this, if you're really hunching them up, get them away. Get some freedom and space around your neck and throat. Remember to breathe in the fullness of your position. Nice, long, slow, consciously observed breaths. And then come back to a central position without collapse. Avoid slumping immediately. You don't want to train the mind and body into bad habits. You're making new good habits. So you train yourself to sit upright at all times, using the flesh on the trunk of your body to assist with this. And now from our cross-legged position, you're going to gently, easily bring yourself into an upright kneeling position. So you want to get your alignment nice and correct in the foundation of this position. We're going to be moving into Ustrasana, camel posture, which progresses into a very deep backward bend. Again, you're going to take the time with this, and you're going to work at the level that suits you, because we're going to start at the basic level. whereby we just put our hands on our hips. We're going to have our head centrally over our shoulders, and this whole upper area of our body, our head and our shoulders, is going to be central over our hips. You've got your shins connected with the mat. If you prefer to turn your toes under and it feels more comfortable, then do so. Either or. So you're going to have your hands on your hips. If they're up here, they're in your waist, and you want to drop them down. You can actually feel the hip bone, and you can use your thumbs to press on your innominate bone, which is this part of the pelvic area here. Now the key to moving into any position is to create space to move into. So whilst in the foundation here, and whilst observing the continual flow of your breath, you're acknowledging that every time you're breathing in, things are rising upwards. You can be lifting from the knees up towards the hips. Same at the back of the legs. You can be sending a message from the mind to the hamstrings, telling them to lift up. You'll be telling lifting space to be being created around the tummy. Internally, you could lift all those organs that are settled in this part. The mind is very powerful. You can tell it anything, or you can tell the body anything by way of the mind, and it will respond. So create that space. And again, as we done when we were seated in a cross-legged position, we're going to start to open our chest. So we just draw those shoulders back, get the shoulder blades, the scapular bones, just moving towards each other. So you take your elbows back for this. You'll feel the chest open. You'll actually start to feel that you want to lean back. And you continually creating room externally as well with the flesh. Everything shifting. Dome the chest up toward the ceiling, gently letting the head drop backwards, only going as far as is comfortable for you. Because there's a long way to go yet, and you need to be strong at every point. So it's so much better to work at a lower point of the position and gain true strength and understanding of what you are asking your body to do, which at this current time is to bend your spinal cord backwards. And if you've had a very sedentary lifestyle and you've sat at a desk a lot and you're really hunched and rounded over, or just when you walk down the shops you're all hunched and rolled forward, it's going to take time to reverse that, to open it out and to go in the opposite direction. But it's a good thing to be able to do. It has many benefits. Keeps the spine, the fluids in the spine, it keeps them activated, keeps them lively, it keeps you revitalized, youthful. So you're pulling up, creating space, you've domed your heart space up towards the ceiling, you're dropping your head and neck back, you're bringing those elbows toward each other. Think about pulling the belly button toward the base of the spine. It's going to lend it some support, it's going to give the spine strength. And when you bring yourself to return to the upright, kneeling, neutral position, you use your stomach as well. Don't leave it all to the spine to do all the work. Activate, engage the deep core muscles of the tummy, and you'll find that it becomes quite easy, and you can feel the strength building, developing. Only hold in the position for as long as you feel comfortable. If you feel any pinching at in the lower back area, that's because you might just be crushing down, you might be slumping. Even though you're going back, you might be slumping. You always want to feel that lift. It's like a circular energy that starts coming in through the soles of your feet. You breathe in, it rises up, it lifts, it circulates. You breathe out, you surrender, it goes down, it comes back to circulate. So have that feeling as you practice. Now at this next stage, we're going to include the arms. We're going to circle the arms to come back to catch the heels of our feet. So as a preliminary stage, you might like to turn the toes under. It just brings the heels a little bit closer to reach. You're going to drop the arms beside your thighs, and then you're going to breathe in and you're going to raise the right arm up, stretch from the right hip, lift, circle that right arm and bring it down to meet the heel of the right foot. Now here's the time to realign. So drop that left shoulder back. You might find that you've really turned side on. So you want to use the right side of your body, draw the flesh round towards the belly button, get your left shoulder dropping back, and then get your left arm at the ready to breathe in, reach it forward, rise it up, circle it to come back to reach the left heel of the foot. Now a nice deep breath in here and lift the lower spine. And when you're ready, you can drop the head and neck back. Continue with your flow of breath. Unclench your teeth. Think about allowing your thighs to move forward to the wall in front of you so that you're not actually dropping right back. You're using the strength of your legs as well to assist. And then we'll put our right hand on our right hip, left hand on left hip, pull the tummy in, pull the belly button to support the spine as you come back up. Just gently drop the chin towards the chest. We don't want to lose too much of that backward flexion that we've just achieved, because we're going to go on with the other arm first. So avoid allowing your shoulders to round forward at the moment. You possibly feeling a nice warm glow in the base of the spine now. That's fine, keep that. It's firing up, it's warming up. So let's go with the left hand first this time. You've got your foundation position, you're nicely aligned, you can feel the breath dispersing around your body because you're taking time over it and you're observing it, you are consciously controlling it. Breathe in and reach that left arm forward, reach into the fingertips. You can stretch and extend through that left arm. Softening in the left shoulder so that you can then take it up, over and bring that left hand to catch the heel of the left foot. Now check here that you haven't dropped over to the left too much. This is where you're going to bring the left side of your body forward and round towards your belly button, and you're going to readjust and realign so that you're aware your heart space is lifting up towards the ceiling equally, both sides of the chest. Rising up, and then you're going to breathe in and reach that right arm forward, and as you reach the right fingers, stretching them forward, think of stretching your thighs forward too. Right arm raises up, circles round and comes to meet with the heel of the right foot, and you drop your head and neck back, and you take a nice deep breath in and you create space in the pubis, the pelvic area. You lift the tummy, you lift the skin around the kidneys. You unclench the teeth. Put your left hand on your left hip, right hand on right hip. Pull the tummy in, engage the belly button. Relax and soften the shoulders and bring yourself to that upright kneeling position. Turn the toes under and under control. Bring the buttocks towards the heels of the feet. No collapsing, no dropping out of the position and immediately slumping. You want to keep all that vitality you've just enriched through your spine. You want to retain it. So let's just go in pose of contemplation for a moment. We're in a kneeling position. Place one palm on top of the other. Point of thumbs touching. Unclench your teeth. Soften your shoulders. You might like to close the eyes here and connect to the self, the inner self, and indeed experience how you feel, both internally and externally. You might like to just bring the chin to the chest briefly, but avoid rounding the shoulders and collapsing out of this nice straight spine, because we're going to continue some more backward bends to do. So let's breathe in and come back to an upright kneeling position. Now, if you want to go again by having the toes turned under, do so. If you want to stay at the level of just having the hands on your hips, do so. There's different stages to progress towards the fullness of the pose, so you have choices. If you want to go to the next stage, flatten the fronts of the feet against the mat. Okay, so get that foundation, upright kneeling position, head and shoulders over the hips, nice and relaxed, breath flowing. We're going to breathe in through the right arm. We're going to circle it and bring it down to the heel of the right foot. We're going to breathe in with the left arm and we're reaching and stretching the whole way as it circles and comes down to meet with the heel of the left foot. Get your thighs moving forwards, lift the buttocks, lift and create space with every breath in. And then bring your right hand to your right hip, left hand to left hip, engaging the stomach, support the spine, coming up. A nice deep round of consciously controlled breath. And let's go on the other side. So let's breathe in, take our left arm up, over, circle it, bring it down to grab the heel of the left foot. Align yourself, heart space up towards the ceiling. Breathe in, stretching through the right arm, circling. Bringing it to meet the heel of the right foot. Drop the head and neck back, unclench your teeth, soften the skin on your face. And then hands to hips, engage the lower trunk of the body, pull it in nice and tight. Control the position as you come out. You're going to bring yourself down into that kneeling posture once again. You might like to take up contemplation, palms atop one another. You might like to gently bring the chin down to the chest as you take an exhalation. And just have a moment to experience the nutritious movement that you've just progressed through, and then we'll move on. Now we are going to practice Cobra, another backward flexion of the spine, Bhujangasana. For this we're going to take ourselves into a prone position, flat on the front of your body. Take your time getting there. Find yourself on the front of your body, on your tummy. You might like to have a little stretch through those legs behind you to lengthen them away. And then bring both legs together. Bring the feet together, and that's where they stay. Imagine your two legs are glued together and they become one, like the snake. Many positions in yoga imitate animals. And when you think of the animal that you're imitating, it can sometimes help with succeeding through a nice graceful shape, movement of said animal. So let's bring our chest to connect with the mat, and we're going to bring our hands either side of our chest. We're going to have our middle fingers pointing directly ahead, and we're going to have some nice space between the fingers, so you've got a very good foundation platform. You want to look at having your wrists, elbows and shoulders aligned. So get those elbows close into the size of your body. Avoid allowing them to splay outwards. You want them tucked in, and then you'll find that this whole arm area is in alignment. It's almost as if you're running along 2 train tracks. So we're going to think about the base of our spine, take a breath in, and we're going to actually just wriggle through the torso and create some space. And then on our next exhalation, we'll begin to lift up, shoulders up. We'll get our chin parallel with the mat. We don't want to go too far because we actually want to be able to comfortably take our hands away, allowing us to have a couple of rounds of breath. But easy does it, gently does it. If that doesn't work for you and you feel uncomfortable taking your hands away, then you're not at that stage yet. Just adapt and adjust into the foundation here. And as you're ready to move on, you will. So to progress now, we're going to take a breath in and we're going to put pressure into the palms of the hands to begin to straighten the arms. Your choice if you want to lock out the elbows. You don't have to lock out the elbows. You can have slight bend if you choose. But if you do want to lock out the elbows and rise up through the spine, think of the cobra, the way it pulls its head back just before it's ready to pounce. Check that the feet are still glued together, the legs are together. And if you feel you can, raise the chin and the eyes to the ceiling. Pull the belly button towards the base of the spine. Scoop the stomach up. Now we don't want to crash out of the position. We want to exit with the same strength and grace that we went in. So bend those elbows. Keep connected to the belly button, and as you lower, think of stretching forward. So you're actually making space as you lower. Point of chin on the ground and take a couple of breaths, and then we'll just go with that again once more. If you feel you have more stretch, then you can take your hands back so that they're now in line with the trunk of the body. But if you feel that was enough of a stretch for you, then have your hands by your chest. Just ensure that you've got that nice alignment of shoulders, elbows and wrists. A nice deep breath in through the nose as you pick up, rise up, lift up. Your choice if you lock out your elbows or not. It's whatever works best for you. You may still be down here, that's fine. If you're here, work with it, develop your strength. Instruct your breathing to continue to increase lung capacity. So you could just be in this position, concentrating on your inhalations and exhalations. Remember, yoga can be tailor-made to suit you. If you can raise the chin and the eyes up to the ceiling, and then again, keep that strength, that grace, that control as you lower down. And here you might now want to just cross the arms and rest the cheek and have a breath in and out. And feel now that the front of your chest is compressed against the floor. So take your mind into your back and be aware of your back ribs opening and closing, assisting with giving some space for the lungs as they inflate and then they deflate. So now let's move into the bow position. Bring the upper body up and place your left forearm onto the mat in front of you. So it's making a nice line right in front of your chest. Breathe in through the nostrils, and as you exhale, bend your right knee. Another breath in, and extend your right arm to rotate round and catch that right front of foot. Just adapt and adjust here, get yourself comfortable. Unclench your teeth. Nice deep breath in, and see if you can raise that right thigh away from the mat. If it doesn't come away to begin with, don't worry, do not judge. As we know with yoga, it's not a quick fix. It takes a lot of time and practice. You might even find benefit with using a belt or a strap, getting it round your foot and being able to pick up from there, okay? And gently allowing yourself to come back, no crashing out, no slumping. We don't want to learn bad habits. Let's go on the other side. So we now put our right forearm nicely in front of us, and to the next breath out, we bend our left knee. We swing our left arm round to catch that left foot. Have the chin parallel with your mat, so you're avoiding holding your head up too much and getting creases in the back of your neck, and avoid slouching it down, leaving the weight of your head heavily forward. You want it nice and equal. And then gently through the flow of your breath, you will draw that left thigh away from the mat. And lower. Releasing out with control. Let's come to the other side. Left arm in front of you. Right hand reaches round to front of right foot. Gently drawing that thigh away from the mat. And ensure that when the thigh comes away from the mat, both hips are still connected. So don't roll onto your side and start pulling it up high if your ego is wanting to get that thigh higher. Do it correctly. The body will thank you for it. And gently lower. Smoothly transitioning to the other side. Staying in tune with your flow of breath. Constantly checking and observing that the shoulders are relaxed and the teeth are unclenched. And then release down. And now we are ready to do both together, if you wish to progress to that point during this session. If not, just watch. Pick up any tips, techniques, or go back and just practice individual legs once again. And then you'll notice further down your journey of practice, before you know it, you will be achieving upward bow. Okay, so let's get the point of chin on the mat. Take a nice deep breath in. As in Cobra, think about having a little stretch forward on your mat, so you're actually creating space within the trunk of the body and the lower spine. When you next breathe out, you're going to bend both knees, and then one at a time, bring your hands round to meet with the front of the feet. Point of chin still on the mat. Taking a couple of rounds of breath to prepare, mentally and physically. Relax. Become supple, become flexible. Let go of any rigidity in you. Breathe in, lift the chest, draw the thighs away from the mat. See if you can draw your knees close together. Unclench your teeth and breathe. And with control, you release out of the position. Now a very gentle transition from here. Pull the tummy in. You're going to bring yourself onto hands and knees. Then you're going to bring your buttocks to the heels of your feet. And then you're going to stretch. Extend your arms forward and feel this beautiful counter stretch through your spinal cord. Bring your forehead to the mat and relax. Surrender the shoulders, soften down through the arms, teeth unclenched, the breath flowing long and deep and rhythmically. And when you're ready, bring yourself back up to a kneeling position. We're going to finish with the full back bend. We probably, mostly all of us, used to do it as a child. So let's skip back to our past and regain the flexibility and suppleness we all once had. You might like to just sit and watch this part of the video. Get any tips and techniques to help you as you progress to a full back bend in time. So let's see how this goes. If you do know that you have great flexibility of spine and you want to join in, do so. You're going to bring yourself down onto your mat. You're going to tilt the pelvis so that the base of the spine connects nicely with the ground beneath you. You're going to firmly plant your feet hip width apart, knees hip width apart. Be aware that you don't allow your knees to drop out or drop in toward each other so that they end up going like that. You want them aligned, hips, knees, ankles on 2 train tracks. You're then going to take a breath in and you're going to bring your hands round near your ears. I just got to move my hair, so if you've got long hair, be aware that you don't want to get your hands in it, because as you go to press up, you might get your hair caught. So the first position here is, as you breathe in, you just move on to the crown of your head. Now this may be enough for you. And when you come out, just roll back slowly on the back of the skull and stay connected with the tummy to really protect the spine. If you can go further, you will take a breath in and you'll push up through the hands. Raise the energy from the hands up towards the armpits. Raise the energy from the soles of the feet to the knees. And breathe. And coming out, you want to keep that strength and that control. You go onto the crown of the head, you roll onto the back of the skull and neck, and then bring yourself down. Nice deep breath in, and then draw the knees in towards your chest. Bring your arms over your shins. You might want to roll from side to side, giving your whole spine a lovely massage. Face soft, teeth unclenched. And then to bring yourself into an upright position, you can roll onto your side and come up, or you can rock and roll your body until you come up. Entirely up to you. You might like to do a couple more forward bends after this, just stretching the spine forward. You might like to touch your toes, stretch your legs out in front of you, touch your toes. It's just a counter stretch. Otherwise, find yourself in a cross-legged position with the torso upright, the chin parallel with the floor, the shoulders relaxed, close the eyes and tune in. Experience the nourishment and enrichment being brought to all the systems of your body via the progress of your movements through backward flexion of the spine. You will feel revitalized, recuperated and re-energized. Enjoy. Please remember to subscribe if you like these videos, leave any comments or questions, and if I can answer them, I will. Remember, yoga can be practiced anytime, almost anywhere, and by anyone, for the good of us all. See you tomorrow.